Hello again. Well, here we are. It's in the evening, as you can see behind us. And we've had a few more wines with dinner that we wanted to share with you. And we'll tell you all about it because there's a story behind everything, as you know. This first one here is a 1993 Mouton Rothschild Magnum with the Balthus label. Those of you in the US may not be familiar with this label because for a while this label was prohibited in the US and they had to make a bottle with a blank label that you could have seen in 1993. But here we are in France. As we know, things are more flexible, for better or for worse. So we're having this Magnum and we had that with dinner and we're gonna tell you how we felt about it. Now, 1993 was not an incredible year in Bordeaux, but some of the good chateaus make some really good wine. And this is almost a 30-year bottle, so at the minimum, it should be totally ready to drink. Let's talk about the color. Is very, very Cabernet. It's really what you expect. It's a classic Bordeaux Cabernet, not because it's not 100% Cabernet. As you know, it's a left bank, so it's primarily Cabernet, but it's got to have Merlot in it as well, and maybe a few other things. We're not sure exactly. We're not going to get into that right now. But the Cabernet it comes through very, very clearly. And on the nose, it's got that really very characteristic Bordeaux classic scent of sort of a little bit of acidity, sort of straight, fruit, but not exuberant. A little bit of bitterness, and you're going to find them all on the palate as well. But a lot of restraint, which is sort of, sometimes people find that a little bit boring if you want, but sometimes people are really comforted to find this really quality in the top-notch Bordeaux.
It's getting better and better.
Yeah. As usual, the last glass is the best glass, and this was a Magnum. But there were many of us, so don't worry about us. It's very good. It's still, the acidity is still very lively. We've had it with dinner, so it was great with the food that we had, with the meat and with the cheese even. Yeah, and it still has some fruit, which is it's a 30-year bottle of wine. Again, it's not one of those things that's gonna blow you over for a number of reasons. Number one, 93 was not an amazing year. Number two, there was a period where a lot of the Bordeaux that were being made were more classic and not really willing to take a lot of risks or pushing the envelopes or develop some new sensations that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So you know what you're gonna expect and you're gonna get it and you're gonna be happy you got it. And I think this is how we all agreed on this really good bottle of wine. I don't want to make it sound like, but it was really incredible, but it was within the parameters that we expected from Mouton Rothschild for that year. And so that worked out really, really well. And we wanted to give you a few words about it. Now, there's a second bottle here that Hani is going to discuss.
I'm going to discuss about the Romanée Saint-Vivant. So it's a Romanée Saint-Vivant 1979. So 1979 is a part of the trilogy of the three great years for Domaine la Romanée-Conti, which are, of course, 78, which is the famous 78, but 79 and 80 are top years. So this is a bottle that belongs to the era of Lalou Bisleroy, who was in charge of the winemaking. So it's a year that has been not greatly received at that time, but now it proves that with the years that it has evolved very beautifully. Now this bottle is a bit special because the cork was a little bit down, so I couldn't take it off. So it's in the bottle, as you could see. Yeah, and when you get to taste the wine, of course, it is a little bit past of its apogee, I would say. But there is still a lot of expression and the story to tell in this wine. So, besides the nutty kind of, oldie wine, there is a lot of great flavors of rose, of rose petals, of a little bit of fruit, a little bit of caramel, and it is very long in the mouth, although it's not young, vigorous Burgundy that you could expect from the northern Côte de Nuit, but it still has a lot of charm, and we were happy to taste it and to go through the experience. So a wine not usual, totally unusual, but really worth checking, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it was funny because with these things you always worry about the worst. You see it, the bottle, it's very old. The cork was damaged. The level was a bit low, and you say, well, you know what, this is gonna be bad. But never say that. Always open it, always try it, and give it time to see how it's gonna evolve. And at first, it was sort of a little bit off-putting. There was some of that sort of oxidation and the maderization of the wine. Yeah,
there is a little bit of maderization, but still it's spicy in the mouth.
Yes.
It has a very pleasant sides, and it's really a good and complex. It's still very complex. But
and the unpleasantness went away. There was a little bit of that at the beginning, but then we got really strong olive aroma, which is really very interesting. And that kind of went away. And now we're really on the walnuts. So, I mean, I know, and it sounds crazy, but it's like a walnut wine. And that's, 2 hours after it's been open. It's got that caramel and walnut, as Hani said. It's really, I mean, it's a little bit almost, doesn't taste like a normal red Burgundy, but it's got its own interest and its own story to tell, as Hani said, and we're very happy to have it and think about what this bottle went through until it got to us, and then we gave it a warm welcome. So anyway, we're very happy to discuss this with you guys.
At the end, we're very proud to show those two bottles unusually coupled the same evening. So we got the opportunity to taste one, then taste the other, and go back to the first one, and go back to the second. That's a lot of luck. So we're happy to taste those wines and share the impressions with you. Yes, you wanna...
one last thing I want to say. I mean, we went, and the same thing we did when we did the earlier wines. We're not trying to pick wines that necessarily go together under some sort of criteria or whatever. That's really not our interest. We pick wines that we want to share together, that we think we're going to like. And that's what makes them go together at the end, because these are wines that we like, that we want to share. So don't really think there is a method to saying, oh, we got to all do all Cabernet or Merlot or all French or whatever. You just pick things you think you're going to like. And then overall, it gives you a lot to talk about without comparing them to each other, because that's always very, very hard to compare. But having the merits and the expression of each wine discussed and appreciated separately, and then you're gonna have a fun evening, guaranteed.
So anyway,
cheers.
Great wines. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.